We were getting more talented, and George began to write lots of songs. You couldn't even make an album. You know, you were lucky to get a track on an album. That's one of the main reasons the Beatles ended. You know, because I can't speak for George, but I pretty damn well know. We got fed up of being sidemen for Paul. After Brian died, that's what began to happen to us, you know. And the camera work was set up to show Paul and not to show anybody else, and that's how I felt about it. And on top of that, the people had cut it as Paul is God and we're just lying around there, you know. And that's what I felt. Paul, I don't know how much of this I want to put out, I tell you. I think Paul had an impression, he has it now like a parent, that we should be thankful for what he did, you know. But he kept, for keeping the Beatles going, but when you look upon it objectively, he kept it going for his own sake, you know. But not for my sake did Paul struggle. But Paul made an attempt to carry on as if Brian hadn't died, you know, by saying, now, boys, we're going to make a record. Paul took over and supposedly led us, you know. But what is leading us when we went round in circles? We broke up then. That was the disintegration.
Do you think you got out of it at a good time, or looking back, do you think maybe you should have gotten out of it earlier, or?
I think if we'd left it any later, it was getting nearly too late, you know.
Well, they've been trying to knock us down since we began, including the British press, always saying, you know, the big joke in crowd with us was, what are you going to do when the bubble bursts? And we told them that, privately, and then etc., that we'd go when we decided, not when some fickle public decided, you know. Because we're not a manufactured group, that we are what we are because we know what we're doing. It's like I no longer believe in myth, you know, and Beatles is another myth, you know. I don't believe in it. The dream's over, you know. And I'm not just talking about the Beatles is over. I'm talking about the generation thing, you know. The dream's over, like it's over, you know. And we gotta, well, I have anyway, personally, gotta get down to so-called reality. Almost 20 years of being under contract and having to produce two albums a year in the early days and a single every 3 months, regardless of what the hell else you were doing or what your family life was like, what your personal life was like, nothing counted. You just had to get those songs out. Now, Paul and I turned out a lot of songs those days, and it was easier because it was the beginning of a relationship and career. Paul and I developed in public, as it were. We had a little rehearsal in private, but mainly we developed our abilities in public. But then it got to be format and sort of not the pleasure that it was, and that's when I felt that I'd lost myself. Not that I was on purposely being a hypocrite or a phony, but it took something away from what I set out to do. I started out to do rock and roll because I absolutely liked doing it. Beatles really could play music together when they weren't uptight. And if I get a thing going, Ringo knows where to go, you know, like that. And he does what we've played together so long that it fits, you know. I mean, that's the only thing I sometimes miss is being able to just sort of blink or make a certain noise, and I know they'll all know where we're going on an ad-lib thing. And what I really got through this 5 years was I'm not running for office. I like to be liked. I don't like to offend people. I would like to be a happy, contented person. I don't want to have to sell my soul again, as it were, to have a hit record. I've discovered that I can live without it, and it makes it happier for me. But I'm not going to come back in and try and create a persona who would not be myself. It's like I no longer believe in myth, you know, and Beatles is another myth, you know. I don't believe in it. The dream's over, you know. And I'm not just talking about the Beatles is over. I'm talking about the generation thing, you know. The dream's over, like it's over, you know. And we gotta, well, I have anyway, personally, gotta get down to so-called reality.